Greetings, folks, and welcome back to another episode of I'd Lather Be Shaving. I am Douglas Smythe, and with me, as always,
Matt Pisarcik.
Today we have quite a show for you. Tell us what's in store, Matt.
We're going to be talking about the Gillette Single Ring Safety Razor, identifying different razors by their metal plating, and lastly,
Pranking the art of shaving.
definitely, these ran from 1905 to 1921. In that time frame, the Titanic sank, World War I began and ended, and Yankee Doodle Dandy is roaring on the charts.
Still is in my mind.
Well, these razors are pretty cool. They were the very first production, large-scale razor that Gillette put out. The very first one, of course, was a double ring. You can tell because right here there's only one kind of ring before the handle begins and ends, as opposed to the double ring has two of those kind of scalloped little rings. They had the exact same shaving head as the Bulldog, as the ball end old type, all the same old type style curved head.
Same geometry.
Exactly, the same geometry, open comb, the pin stabilizers. But this razor really is what kind of put Gillette on the big boy map. This is what helped them take over, some of the other razors at the time. These were originally triple silver plated. They were put into lots of different style of leather cases, metal boxes, and sold for $5, referred to often as the standard razor from Gillette. They didn't really call them single rings, that's kind of how we look back at them, but they just called them the standard. Awesome all around. They shave wonderfully. A lot of people also don't know this little kind of trick about these. If you were a guy in 1905 or whatever, 1910, and you had one of these old steel blades, they're pretty thick. I mean, it's like a spring steel almost.
You've seen them. They come when you buy that vintage razor. It often comes with a blade you'll never use, but with a
three-holer.
Yeah.
So it actually, as you load this guy on, Gillette did talk about their razors kind of being adjustable well before the adjustable razors, just by loosening and tightening, the handle. You can actually get it to spring open and closed.
Oh yeah. So right there, you can see it. Yeah, it's functioning like a spring.
Mm-hmm.
So it's this style that really much set Gillette apart when it came out.
Right. I mean, the fact that we had a disposable double-edged blade is what the invention was. People sometimes think that, Gillette invented the safety razor. That's not true. They invented the throwaway blade, and that was really what started throwaway culture in general. The idea of taking something, using it, throwing it away. Gillette had to kind of convince people to do this. In fact, they had to offer resharpening services for the first couple of years, because the other major razor style out there were like wedge style.
Ah, the wedge. Like this beauty right here.
Yeah.
Look at this, folks. This is the gem lather catcher, or it's a lather catcher style. Turn of the century, and this is the wedge right there. This is what you had to have rehoned.
It's like a straight razor. It's almost just been...
That's what it's based off of. It's just cut off. And
yeah,
and look at that. But this is just a beauty of it's a work of art.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. It's a beautiful piece of history right here.
So people were using that at the time, and imagine traveling by train, or you're traveling on a ship and you're trying to shave with that thing. Yeah. You had to strop it.
The Titanic.
That's
a lot of these went down. Yeah.
But you had to strop it. You had to hone it. You had to keep it maintained, and then all of a sudden, this comes out. That's the technology right there.
Yeah, new tech.
Yeah. Gillette actually had to work with an engineer from MIT even to try to get a piece of sheet metal to be tempered and hardened and sharpened to this level of calibration. It was rocket science.
Yeah, they called him mad and said it wouldn't work.
Nickerson, yeah.
Yeah, it was going to be too expensive to pull off.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, these guys and many other razor makers of the day were all trying to go after this new Gillette model of throwing something away. It became obviously the profit center. Once you had a disposable product, and you gave them the handle at a very affordable price, now they're going to keep on buying from you.
What's the
again
name
and
for that?
again.
Was it lead?
Freebie marketing comes to mind,
Freebie
or
marketing.
loss leader.
Loss leader, that's what
Yeah.
it is. Yep. There you
So
go.
I mean, these
I should
razor
know this.
sets, they would sell for $5, but I mean, the equivalent price what it cost to make was far greater than that. They knew that they had a lifetime value from the customer buying these things.
Yeah. Smart.
Yeah. But I mean, have you shaved with a single ring before? What do you think of the way it shaves?
I'm not a huge fan of Gillettes. I mean, everyone knows my favorite Gillette is a red tip, but I mean, it gets the job done, and it pretty much started. It was the beginning of something, so I have respect for it. It's like when
Right.
people talk about bands, like there's bands I have respect for, but don't necessarily care for.
Right.
And that's a lot of these early Gillettes. That's how I feel about them.
Yeah.
So, I was recently out in the wild, antiquing,
Oh, okay.
and I stumbled upon this. Now, I even left the price tag on there. See that? 50 cents. You don't see this often, but when you do, you jump for joy.
If you paid 50 cents for that, I think you came out ahead.
Really? I paid $1.50 for this. What do you think?
Pretty good, pretty damn good.
Nice. Now, I know that in order to clean these, it's important to know what they are plated with,
Exactly.
what metal they're plated with. But sometimes when they're in this condition, I can't identify what they're plated in. Do you have any tips or tricks that will, tell me what they're plated in?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Most razors you're going to find out there are going to be one of the following. They're going to be silver plated, they're going to be nickel plated, they're going to be gold plated, and I don't have a fourth hand, and lastly, chrome plated. Those are the four most common finishes put onto all safety razors of all time. There's a couple other obscure ones like rhodium or rose gold or something, but this is the most common stuff. So let's just take it real easy. First and foremost, gold. Gold is always going to appear gold in color. However, over time, if the gold wears off, you may only see something that's brown or coppery looking, something that maybe resembles a goldish hue, but no longer is gold. It probably started its life as gold.
Fair enough.
Yeah, gold is such a soft metal, you can literally rub it off. Later, Gillette and other companies started putting lacquers over things to help with that, but the old ones, man, to find one in good condition that's gold, that's hard to do.
Old gold.
Old gold. So next up, we have a blade bank that is nickel plated, and nickel does oxidize, but it does, which means it reacts with oxygen in the air. But it's almost always just kind of go to like a dull gray look. It's never gonna get really much worse than this. Now, on the other hand, you pointed out, these single rings you got,
Yeah.
these are silver plated. And so the difference between silver and nickel is the fact that silver goes way, way, way more with the tarnishing of the patina. And it will get like this, almost to a level of being black or gray.
It's completely oxidized.
Right. Now we also see down here on this particular model that it's now brass. The patina was so severe that it actually ate all the silver up, and now all that's left is the base metal, which is brass. And last but not least, the other finish you see in a lot of gems and other razors out there is chrome, or Mercurs, Hofritz. You're going to see chrome. Chrome looks a lot like nickel.
It does.
But the biggest way to tell the difference apart between these two is more of the hue. So nickel's gonna kind of look more gray, whereas chrome is always gonna have like a blue kind of cyan kind of tint to it. And if you just kind of hold them, far away from your eye, not, just kind of blur your eyes a little bit and just take a first glance, you'll notice this one is more of a bluish and this is more of a grayish hue. And that's really it. So the last part is how to take care of this stuff.
Right.
Now you can use different metal polishes out there. There's Flitz, there's Moss, there's Mothers, there's lots of different metal polishes. I would say that if you know what you're doing, that's a safe thing to do. If you don't know what you're doing, or you're unsure, or you're worried about maybe damaging the finish, you need to go slower than a metal polish, which is gonna go lightning speed at attacking that metal and the patina. And I'm gonna do a shameless plug for the polishing cloth we sell at Razor Emporium. We use these all the time. You notice it's actually stained black now. That is actually the metal that's coming off. So don't forget, when you polish something, you are kind of using like a sandpaper more or less, and you're removing metal, and that metal gets trapped on the cloth and stays there. So it's not dirt coming off, but it's actually is the patina or the discoloration, and you're revealing new metal. Just like if you sanded a piece of wood to get a stain out or a nick or a ding out of wood, you sand off the wood and you have a bunch of sawdust left behind. Same thing. This is all the metal that actually came off the razor. And these polishing cloths are great for all metals, gold, chrome, silver, nickel. They're safe. Sometimes what can happen, and it literally breaks my heart, these guys will call us and they'll say, man, I got this great razor, and they used the wrong metal polish.
Oh, yeah.
And they've just stripped it.
I've been that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I first started, I did that.
Yeah. And it's sad because it could have been avoided.
It was sad. And this one had nothing to do with the metal. It had to do with a coating. It was a...
Like a lacquer or something?
It was a Merkur slant from like 1930. And
they did put a lacquer on that.
It had a lacquer on it and it had a white, like almost rubber coating on the handle.
Yes.
I did away with that.
Took it right off. Yeah.
I'm a horse's ass.
Thanks for calling the Art of Shaving.
Hey, I have a question.
Yes.
I recently got into wet shaving, or traditional shaving, after inheriting a razor from my granddad who died on the Titanic. And it kind of coincides with this place I'm at in my life right now where I want to the only way to describe it is smell like an old man. Do you have any scent there that is like an old man? I know it's just where I'm at right now, but do you have a scent there that smells like an old man?
Oh, yeah. Definitely. You're describing the majority of our demographic. It's probably the sandalwood. I would say would be your best option.
Sandalwood. Okay. Does that smell like I've been, like me smoking cigars in my living room type old man smell?
For sure. Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay. Sandalwood. Anything else besides sandalwood? See, when I think
Also
sandalwood, I
has
think of
something
like
called
Indian
ocean
restaurant.
kelp. It's just very kind of coastal, very earthy, So I think that would be a good fit for you as well.
Like, is it like sexy old man or nursing home old man?
Probably more sexy old man.
Okay. And what is the name of that scent?
Ocean kelp and sandalwood would be the two.
That's funny because someone told me to see kelp the other day, so it kind of makes perfect sense that I go with the ocean kelp. And that's a shaving soap as well as a matching aftershave.
Actually, no, we don't make a shaving like a soap disc. It's a glycerin paste. So it's more. It's not congealed into a bar. It just comes in a tub. But it's very traditional. Same style. You still need a brush using it.
Do you have anything that smells like even older than this one, like an old man, like mildew almost? Or like Salvation Army old?
I mean, you can find
mildew. I
not
guess.
really, man. I think the scent that you're probably looking for is like bay rum. It's like real like 1940s, 1950s, super traditional barber. We don't carry that type of bay rum aroma.
Can I drink? I mean, is that something I could drink also? Will I get pulled over? I mean, like if I am pulled over.
Oh no, you better not drink it. I think you'd have to get your stomach pumped.
Right. Okay. Well, you've been more than helpful.
For sure, man.
Where can I find bay rum? You call it?
Bay rum, yeah. I'm 99% sure that is like really what your soul is trying to find, and you can pretty much find that any kind of drugstore will still have it, but that is like the epitome of 1940s, 1950s
Probably
style.
selling a lot of it in Florida, right? God's waiting room.
You got it.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you so much. Art of Shaving.
Not a problem, man.
Yeah.
Move you around.
Well, there you have it.
That was the shittiest prank call I've ever made.
How many prank calls have you made exactly?
73. Well, 74 now.
Well, I think it was
If
pretty
you want to
good.
count
That
this one.
he actually hit several scents that I would agree are good. Sandalwood
But old
and
man,
bay rum.
Old man?
I mean, he should have said aqua
Classic.
Aquavelva.
Yeah.
That would have been it right there.
But I was
Classic
going
stank.
for, 1 foot in the grave type old man, like.
Clubman. Clubman's 1 foot in the
You
grave.
go in your granddad's car and it's just like, first of all, you open the door and it's like a Play-Doh fun factory of smoke pouring
Yes.
out, cigar smoke.
Right.
And it's just like that, like, stale.
I think
like,
shaving cream alone can't capture all of it. I think there's always other things, like you said, like you have to be
decomposition.
wearing an ascot all
Wearing
the
an
time.
ascot, yeah.
And then cigars.
I didn't know how to work that in. I heard you whispering ascot. First, I thought you were saying mascot, and I wasn't really sure.
Well, I thought you were gonna say.
Visions of like a parrot head or something.
I thought you were gonna say like, God, I'm sitting around my house now, smoking cigars or
I
smoking
was like,
pipe,
yeah.
wearing an ascot.
Yeah.
You know.
He was too good. He was playing off me.
I think he's been
would
asked
hire
that
him.
question before. I think that's not the first time he's been asked, how do I smell like an old man?
He was a good sport. Art of shaving,
Yeah, we salute you.
kind of. Well, folks, that brings us to the end of another episode of I'd Lather Be Shaving.
Like, comment, and subscribe if you like what you saw today, and let us know if you have anything you'd like us to review or talk about on next episode.
True. Tips, tricks, suggestions, concerns, leave them below in the comment section or email us directly. Until next time, folks, this is Douglas Smythe and
Matt Pisarcik.
signing off here from I'd Lather Be Shaving. Cheers. Did you spike this?
Yep.